be able to come back from this pretty adequately once the scan gets up and once he gets his own vultures up. And Casey coming up now with a bunch of vultures going into that natural expansion, and he's going to mine the area up, so it's going to be harder for Firebathero to expand and place his command center and everything. But Firebathero already has scan up, so he should be okay. And the second Wraith has been produced and is out here, and is now going to start popping some more SCVs. And actually, if he's able to keep this up, he might actually be able to get enough damage done. Goliaths have been produced, and they're going to pick off this. Whoa, they almost picked off that Wraith before it cloaked up, but it did cloak up, so they'll be able to get a few more kills here. 3 kills on that one Wraith, and the other Wraith, I can't tell how many it has, they're not showing it. But they're killed maybe like 5 SCVs or so. It's starting to build up now. If Casey doesn't get his scan up, his scan was building. Hopefully it comes up soon, because this is actually now starting to build into a decent amount of damage. And the scanner is finally up, and he's just trying to time his scan, because right now he only has 1, so he's got to be careful. If he misses that and the Wraiths just run away, the scan will be useless, and he'll have a long time again where he's got no detection. That's never a good spot. So he ushers the race away just by the threat there and not actually doing anything and doing damage. And Firebathero is almost done with his command center. He's almost ready to float it. So once that command center is finished and starts floating, he's just going to lift off his rack scan, clear away the minefield, and then set up a new defensive posture as soon as he can. And it does look like Casey is also going to be researching. I assume it's probably Siege now to the machine shop. It didn't look like he had too many tanks earlier, so he probably got all of his vulture upgrades first. And this barracks for Casey is going to go down. I can't see how he's possibly going to save this. And so he should probably start building another one soon, or throw up any factories he wants very, very quickly before the barracks goes down, because obviously you need a barracks in order to build more factories. And if you get stuck expanding and then like forgetting your barracks or something, which you do see sometimes in like immature games and stuff, it can really suck if you don't have enough factories to really support your economy. And now we're seeing Casey come in here for an attack, moving right in among the tanks here, and he might be able to do a lot of damage here, placing mines. The mines taking down a couple tanks here. You're going to take down at least one more tank here, and yeah, there it goes. And now the tank for Casey is also going to go down, and he's trying to place some more mines, and that mine did not go off. If that last mine had gone off, that might have done a ton of damage. But Firebathero does fend that off. He lost like 3 or 4 tanks there, but he killed a lot of vultures, and he killed 1 or 2 tanks as well. So it was probably about even once again. I don't think either player got too much of an advantage. Casey might have done a little bit more damage, but it was pretty darn close in terms of the overall damage that was done. But Firebathero does have that base that's already gone up. It's up and running right now. But pretty decent saturation, all things considered, and Firebathero being a little bit sloppy there, letting one of his tanks get hit by a mine there. It didn't go down, but it certainly took a lot of damage, so he's going to have to have some SCVs repair it. And there, I think that was probably a Firebathero scan, checking to see if there was any more mines there. And now he's got a bunch of Wraiths moving down again. And Casey does have Goliaths, or he did have Goliaths. I don't know where they are, though, and these Wraiths might actually be able to pick off a tank or something if the Goliaths aren't around. Yeah, there's the Goliath. And there's the cloaking for Firebathero coming into play. And he's going to try and pick off some SCVs here. We'll see whether how the scans go. There's the scan, and Firebathero needs to just run away and then come back in like a few seconds as soon as the scan wears off. And I don't know who these people are. I think that might be the coach for Khan. I think those were the coach. The one girl, I think, was the coach for Khan, and then the guy was the coach for Ace, I think. Not really sure about that. Not really. I'm honestly not that great at recognizing faces. Not one of my strong points, but we'll see. And now both players finally in the middle of the map. Now we're going to see more of a traditional game with the tank lines forming and trying to take advantage of line of sight. And Firebathero has the advantage in this battle, not only because he has more tanks out on the field, a lot more tanks, but because he has those Wraiths and he can use those for vision. He doesn't have to scan, he doesn't have to worry about floating things over. He just uses the Wraiths like that. He just flies in a little bit, gives his tank some vision, and gets the first shot in, and he's just destroying Casey right now, just wrecking tanks left and right. And he's got 3 factories with machine shops pumping tanks right now, and yeah, it doesn't even look like he has anything other than tanks. He's just foregoing vultures completely, which is very rare that you see this, but he's just going to completely forego vultures and just let his tanks go to work. And so far it's been pretty effective. He's pushed Casey back to his natural already here by this unbuildable ground here right outside the natural. And I don't know where the Wraiths are, but the Wraiths would be really useful right now to continue to give him vision. He does take down that tank, no problem. And it does look like he's bringing some more forces down. And Casey's in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to be contained, and he doesn't have the tank count. Somehow he doesn't have the tank count, nor the Wraith count, nor anything really. I think those Wraiths, he might have overbuilt Goliaths there or something, and maybe that's what made it so difficult for him. And he's throwing down 2 starports of his own, and neither of them have a control tower, so it looks like he's just going to be going for for pure Wraiths here. But he's gonna fall behind here. He's losing some more tanks at the front, losing tanks over and over again, and he's just losing a lot of ground. And Firebathero is just pushing and pushing and pushing in, seeing virtually no resistance. And the Goliaths aren't doing anything, obviously, against the tanks. He needs more tanks, and he's behind in factories, he's behind in bases, he's tied in bases, but his base went up a little later, and he just didn't do enough damage with those vultures and not take enough tanks down, and now he's just in a ton of trouble, because even as these reinforcing tanks come out, it's going to be too late, I think. And Wraith has finally been produced for Casey, but once again, I think it's too late. I think because he doesn't have cloaking, and because Firebathero does have cloaking, he'll just be able to cloak up his Wraiths, and he also has Goliaths and just take this down. And Firebathero also has Goliaths now protecting his tanks against this SCV pull. Casey pulled off all of his SCVs from his natural mineral line, and he's just going in among the tanks. The tanks are unsieging, and they're going to clear this up. They're going to clear out all of those SCVs. All those SCVs go down, as does the Wraith for Casey, and Casey is just in a world of hurt right now. This is pretty much GG now for Casey. He's pretty much done, and he has no real way of coming back here. He's lost his natural, has no mining at all, and it's just gonna go down. And there's GG from Adamos alive. Yeah, Casey just got rolled there by Firebathero. Firebathero just won the initial couple battles there, and Casey was not able to do enough damage with his vultures at all to counteract the pure vulture fight. And Firebathero, no celebration, just a finger into the crowd. That sounded really awkward. Just ignore that. And yeah, so this is going to go to an ace match on Heartbreak Ridge. We'll see who shows up, and I'm hoping that it ends up being, I don't know who it will be for Samsung Con. It could be Jamie or Firebathero were the obvious choices for a long time, but who knows now? It could even be Great, who has been playing pretty well for them recently. Great's been playing really well for them. He did lose to Anytime, but he's probably been one of their better performers as of late. It could also be Stork, which would make a logical choice. And then for Ace, we'll see. Anytime has traditionally been one of their hotter players, but Go Rush has actually played an ace fight for them, and he's been pretty good as of late. So I would like to see Go Rush, and Dazang's played some good games. So I would say it's somewhere. It's probably going to be Dazang, Anytime, or Go Rush, one of those three. But we will see who's in the ace match. I will see you there for what should be hopefully be an exciting game on Heartbreak Ridge.